Your growth goals must always lead your results goals. If I was going to go from 144, my first World Cup start, to a chance at the podium 144 races later, I had to not only put myself into a position to possibly be in contention, but I had to get it in enough races to get there. I made my way to the U.S. Spring Series by hitchhiking, but transportation to the races did not allow for missing a ride because I was standing on the side of the road waiting for a ride. I had to find someone I could catch a ride with from race to race. I sat next to the table of a female set of racers that were talking about their day's training, and I listened. I cleared the table, and they were grateful, and as I walked to the garbage can, I heard one of them say that they were uncomfortable driving in the snow and that the ice made them afraid to drive in the ice and snow on the mountains. Where she came from in southwestern United States, she didn't have to drive in the snow. I'm Jungle Jim Hunter, and you're listening to 831 Living Your Best Life podcast, where we inspire participation, communicate precision, and empower performers to podium. And we hope you will tell your friends, relatives, and coworkers to go to their favorite podcast provider or junglejimhunter.com or YouTube and subscribe, download, click on like if you like it. I hope you will like it, and rate and review us and become an 831er, somebody that will make a difference in someone else's life, helping them live their best life, because this podcast is helping you live your best life. Well, it's 15 days to the 32nd Olympic Games. We're almost down to 2 weeks left and 47 days to the 16th Paralympic Games that are going to happen in Tokyo a year after they should have taken place. And I hope you will watch and support the teams and the sports that you're interested in. We've been learning about why these athletes are confident and what makes a confident athlete and what makes a confident person. Confidence, by its original definition, means to believe in what is made. The power of this is so strong because if you know you can't do something and you're trying to be more than you are incongruent with yourself, and therefore you are lying to yourself even though you are trying to be confident. We always believe current dominant thoughts, and so we believe the lies we tell ourselves if we are lying to ourselves. You see, if you know you don't like driving in the snow, there's a great chance you are afraid, and there is a chance that there are other things you are telling yourself that are lies as well. So why don't I help this young lady out? After all, I know how to drive on ice and snow. See, she said she came from a farm. I came from a farm. So when I returned after securing my supper and breakfast from the trays in my backpack, I said I came from a farm. Can you drive a standard? She asked. Sure, I said. I grew up driving tractors and trucks and cars, and they were all standard transmissions. Meet me in the parking lot at 4, and we'll see if you know what you are doing. I skied the rest of the afternoon, excited about the chance that I may have solved my transportation problem through the spring series. We met in the parking lot, and I told her about the dairy farm in Saskatchewan in Canada, and that I was there by myself and had no way to go from race to race if I couldn't help her out, and she would help me out. I was upfront honest with her and told her she was doing me a great favor. She told me about their farm and that her name was Sheila and lived in the mountains during the ski season. We got in the car and drove around the parking lot and then where she was going to be staying. She asked where I was staying. I told her I had to find a place. She got out and told me to wait. She came out a few minutes later from the house and said where she was staying they didn't have any more room, but the next door neighbor did. You're hired for the spring, and I drove and picked up my things at the day lodge, filled it with gas, and that took care of my transportation problem for the spring. I shoveled driveways and did dishes and did repairs in the homes that I stayed in, picking up some meals so that I didn't even have to worry about my food everywhere I went. How could I persuade her to let me drive her car? Why would somebody trust somebody she didn't even know? Because I could do what I said I could do, and I did it confidently. Everyone may speak and show they are confident, but none of us has done something until we have done it. And therefore, there is always that little bit of doubt that we can do it. Human beings are what they tell themselves they are and have done. They aren't what they tell themselves they can do and haven't done it. If they are incongruent in telling themselves they can do something that they can't, then they may be lucky, but most of the time they cannot deliver. A confident person is a gatekeeper. They do not want to be disqualified because they lied to themselves and think they can lie to someone else. A confident person is a second miler. They know they need others to help them, so they help others first. A confident person is a way paver. They prepare ahead of their situation and their moment and not only have solved their problems, but have benefited from the fact that in solving one problem, they may have provided a solution for another. I told Sheila my lack of transportation problem so she would know she was doing me a favor by letting me help her. But because I was upfront and honest, she trusted me, first of all, as a person, and then as a driver. You can't have hidden agendas and be confident. Did you hear me? You can't have hidden agendas and be confident. Now, you may be bold and you may be cocky, but your character will eventually betray you. I knew I would drive on the snow and ice because my first introduction to skiing was behind the horse and then the half-ton truck. I pulled my brothers around the farmyard and up and down the ditches. Then they would pull me. My dad cleared 1.5 feet of snow off the hockey rink between the house and the barn after a heavy snowfall, and we put the boards down on milk cans, creating ski jumps to jump out onto the ice, being pulled by the truck. I pulled my brothers, and then they pulled me. I was 11 years of age when I did that. Do you think that for 1 second, a car on snow and ice was going to keep me from getting to the next race? Sheila was confident in me and my driving because I was there to lower my points. I was there alone with no coach and willing to sleep in the stairwell of a day lodge, eat off trays, and hitchhike to the next race. Or she could become an 831er that solved my problem because I solved her problem. Confident people are problem solvers. If your child, your friends, your coworkers, your friends that you visit with and see every day at work, the people you exchange your life with, your teams, their teammates, can do something for themselves and you rush in and bail them out every time they complain about how tough, hard, or difficult it is, you deprive them of their ability to ever have confidence. I know you think you're doing them a favor, and most of us jump in because we're just tired of watching them fail. But you're not doing them a favor. You are hindering their growth. If you have dreams of doing something, if you have people that you know can do something, if you have a child that you can see becoming great at something, don't do it for them. A confident person's first response is to solve the next problem by going the second mile every time and paving the way they must go so they won't be disqualified by their own laziness of being a dishonest keeper of the gates. I had to get to World Cup and be in the top 15 to get to the top 30 result. This would set me up to finish in the top 20, giving me a shot at being good enough to be in the top 10, and then the top 5, and finally a shot at a podium. I had 2 years to move 50 spots in the next 50 races. I had to be who I said I was in order for it to have a chance to come true. This does not guarantee victory, by the way. This only puts you into the place where victory is within your grasp. I want to thank you for listening today, and I know this is challenging you, but I want to challenge you because it's within your grasp to be a confident person. My quote for the day: your future begins where those responsible for you stop doing for you in the present what you could have done already in the past. Do them a favor. Let them grow up. I hope you will have grown and will be living your best life the next time we meet.